One thing I wanted to ask, because you introduced six dimensions to the revenue advantage, right? And that was predictability, velocity, quality, lifetime value, efficiency, and innovation. And I was wondering if you can discuss how these dimensions interact and support each other to drive overall business success.
Yeah, so I mean this whole journey of revenue transformation, um, it's a journey, right? It's a complex set of processes. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy needs, there's a maturity model you need to be able to kind of go from kind of doing the basics, automate the basics, start integrating your processes, and then build some intelligence into what you're trying to do. If you look at every executive team, they're under, shareholders, activists come into shareholders, take privates, by private equity firms. There's a whole army of those. You're going to continue to see an army of those boards, executive teams. I've just looked at the software industry. The push is profitable growth. Is driving profitable growth. And in the SaaS business, we call it the rule of 40, which is kind of the sum of your growth and your profit. And if you're one product, one channel to market company, it's super easy. Like your price book is easy, your product is easy, your sales go to market is easy. But most companies at any scale are multi-product, they're multi-revenue type, they operate in multiple regions. They might have some M&A thrown in on top of that as well to kind of get them to scale. And so then we start looking at, how do I drive profitable growth? It's a complex equation for most companies. Predictability is really, really important. The recurring nature of your business, the renewal motion in your business is really, really important, because if I'm selling but not renewing in a SaaS business, you just can't build a profitable entity. So predictability of business, velocity, how quick you're able to move things through your sales cycle, from selling to contracting to renewing, landing logos versus kind of trying to go for the big deals at the start. So how do you get the right price points right? How do you get the right value propositions and promotional value propositions right? What's working versus a competitor in a particular region? What's the bundle that's working, et cetera? Quality, revenue quality is going to become a bigger and bigger and bigger thing that shareholders are going to demand. As people move to a recurring revenue, quality of revenue matters. Not just any type of revenue, but the quality of revenue matters. Recurring revenue matters. Higher margin revenue products matter. Looking at lifetime value matters. When I'm looking at, I can sell my products to anybody, or I can sell it to a smaller ideal customer profile of people that are going to expand with me over the course of time. That's going to lead to a better unit economic from a cost of sales perspective as well. Efficiency. How much work is it taking me to fulfill the contracts? How much appeasements am I going over a Mac? I sold something, but I'm giving credits left, right, and center. Or my sales machine is just not it's not productive. And then revenue innovation is really around, how do I introduce in new pricing models, new pricing bundles, test them, do A/B testing on them, make sure I'm not cannibalizing the existing revenue that I already have today. So to do that really transcends all the key personas in an organization in a B2B business, right? The chief product officer has to be defining the products, pricing, bundles, promotions, rebates, you have it. But they have to be able to do them much quicker than they can do it today. Like if you look at Amazon, they change their prices thousands of times a day on products. You look at B2B businesses, it is so difficult to get changes through the machine. You look at the CRO, how are they introducing new products into the customers? How are they understanding the current commercials within the existing contracts so they can formulate value propositions? The same for the CFO. How does the CFO start to translate kind of the selling motion into a forecastable revenue motion, right? Well, that needs to tie into order management, it needs to tie into when I'm getting bills out, it needs to tie into my revenue recognition, my collections. And then from a customer, a CSO, a chief customer officer, how am I serving those customers, renewing those customers, expanding those customers, et cetera. And then the CIO then is left with all the challenges of having to deliver across these big personas in companies. They have to be kind of the glue that ties all these things together. So for us, that's where platform matters. Getting more out of a box, more end-to-end processes that are built in, that are kind of, your starting point is closer, so you can automate what you have, then bring more integration to it, and then hopefully once data starts to become clean, process starts to become known automated, then you can actually bring in some intelligence to the equation itself. So that's the approach we believe in very strongly.
Excellent. Then let me ask a more product-focused question. I think Grant Peterson mentioned at your Conga Connect event in the spring, right? The Conga CPQ ability to handle complex pricing.
Yeah.
And mixed product service quotes at scale. Can you elaborate a little bit on the specific features and functions within the new Conga CPQ that address these challenges for business, particularly for those transitioning from manual or spreadsheet-based quoting processes?
Yeah, so I'll give it through a real life example if that probably makes most sense, Frank. If I take like GE Healthcare, right? GE Healthcare is a multitude of different business units. Like they've got one business unit which is their big imaging devices, their MRI machines. They have another business unit which is a small imaging device, their ultrasounds and so on and so forth. But when they go in to sell those products, it's multiple products, there's multiple revenue types. They're fulfilled over a course of period of time. But the most profitable business for GE Healthcare is their services business. So the ability not only to price the products, even if they're not yet built, the services go along with it, the software goes along with it, the data injects into your arm for the MRI machines, but then also the service contracts, the maintenance contracts to go into maintaining them, operating and running them, but also operating them and running them on the competitors' products. So they'll have their own assets, obviously, and their own order forms for, MRI machine 1, 2, and 3. But then if they're going into service a Siemens MRI machine or a Philips MRI machine, those quotes become very complex. The pricing becomes very complex. The bundles becomes very complex. And that's the type of stuff we've actually done now to kind of be able to not only price products, but price products and services together, combinations of those bundles together, and then a lot of the kind of the approval logic has to go along with the complexity of fulfilling those also. That's basically what we've done. I think quite well down the last year. I've been able to bring in mixed what we term as mixed modal types of products into what we're doing. The platform itself today, one of the things we've done with the platform, which is probably worth mentioning, is, as I said, we grew up on force.com and, we had some challenges there with just kind of scale, frankly. We now can do like 25,000 line items per order within Conga at a pretty good speed. We're testing 50,000 line items per order. So these more complex permutations, combinations, we're just working now with Hitachi Vantara as well, who do a lot of infrastructure stuff. Storage, data center build-outs, infrastructure build-outs, also very complex product dependencies, pricing, permutations, combinations, with lots of line items per orders in those as well, as an example. So the pricing, repricing, permutation combinations of that we've added a lot, Frank, we've added a lot of capability there into what we're doing.
Excellent. And that I think is also something, right? So you're referring also to the turbo engines, right? So which were a challenge for a while, right? So, but that one is overcome now then with this latest platform version.
And turbo engines for us was a bit of a stopgap between our initial product that was built on force.com. The current product now is we're not using turbo engines. That's been kind of all redone, obviously, but that's what we can now get real high performance on, like 5,000 line items, 10,000 line items, 25,000 line items, 50,000 line items per order. We've actually one customer 100,000 line items per order, which we'll grow into. But that our processing speed, our computational speed, the architecture of that now is the team has done a really bang up job on.
Excellent. And I think a couple of the listeners will probably be scared when they hear the number of quote item lines that you mentioned, right? So like 100,000 quote item lines, that's only for certain industries, I think, right? In certain situations. So that's not a common scenario, just to be clear.
Exactly.
Another thing that I want to follow up, also a little bit more product focus, was the introduction of Conga CPQ for web business and enterprises. Seems like that's a significant development, right? And can you maybe delve into the key differentiators between these two offerings and how they cater to the specific needs of businesses of different size and complexities?
Yes. So basically what we've done is the kind of the philosophy we've taken, obviously everything goes on the platform, everything feeds off the platform. We get all the platform-based services that makes sense, number one. So as we become a platform company. Part of that is data, obviously, which is a key thing, is all the revenue data and exposing that. the second thing then philosophically is we preserved all the Salesforce packages that people use today. They continue to use those, which is great. We've built now web-based UIs to all of our product capabilities. So they can use it in the Salesforce context, they can use it outside of Salesforce context. And those web UI capabilities we've kind of packaged into kind of enterprise and commercial. So commercial is where the degree of complexity is less, the cost to implement is lower, the getting started is, but it's still all on the same product. It's the same platform. And then we just have a set of capabilities that are for CLM. If I look at CLM web for commercial versus CLM web for enterprise, there's obviously a different set of features that's associated with that. I can start with commercial and over time grow into enterprise if I want. A lot of our customers obviously will be in enterprise on day one. We've done the very same thing on CPQ. You know, for large customers, I was saying they're doing complex cars, complex pricing, stuff like that. But not everybody is doing that, right? We have a lot of customers that are doing much simpler capabilities. Again, it's the one product, but it's how you access that product through the web UI capabilities, or if you want to also, frankly, use the APIs into that as well. It just reduces the cost to implement and to stand it up, and it gives us a more down market product that we've never had before. We were, as you know, we were probably in the higher end of CPQ when we went after it. Now we're just broadening and being able to serve all of the customers we go after in our ideal customer profile.
Excellent, got it. So now I think Conga, so we already mentioned the Conga Connect event that has already passed. What are the next big events that you're going through for the rest of the year where listeners can potentially see you or the team and the solution?
Yeah. So obviously we'll be at Dreamforce, which will be a big event for us here, which seems a long ways away, but I know it's just coming around the corner. We've been doing starting a series of events now as we really launch the platform in earnest with live customers. I think the key thing for us is that we work very hard to get credibility on is being able to deliver on what we say we're going to do. At our user conference in Connect in April, we posted what we said we were going to do last year, and we gave ourselves a report card against that. So I think we got a lot of credit from our customers on that. And post our October release now, you're going to see a lot of innovation coming out of Conga that will be starting to make some real noise about the beginning of next year as well. That it's going to build around this whole construct of revenue lifecycle, AI, and intelligence application. There's going to be a whole set of new applications we're coming out on.
Excellent. We will have these links in the show notes as always. What's a good way for interested listeners to contact you if they have any follow-up questions for you?
Yeah, just I would say go to ngoggin@conga.com or reach out to me on LinkedIn. I would say I'm very active with our customers and happy to chat to anybody, answer any questions along the way.
Perfect. We will have all the links in the show notes as always. Noel, thank you very much for making time for the CPQ podcast today.
You're very welcome, Frank. Appreciate it.